Hello, everyone. I hope you are doing well once again, and welcome to another sort of small things detail missed video again of Hogwarts Legacy. I thought I would make a little bit of a longer one today, more or less again of a roundup of a few locations. In particular today, the Hogwarts classrooms. Now, obviously, it goes without saying the classrooms did play a very important part in the entire Harry Potter series when you think about it, and in the entire Hogwarts world. It's where you get your education. It's where you learn a lot of things, and it's like where a lot of the very important and very significant scenes take place, as well as the spells you learn and stuff. I mean, you can think just off the top of your head, you learned Expelliarmus from the Defense Against Dark class, the Wingardium Leviosa spell and charms, the whole debacle about potions, where they would always have a kind of a back and forth with Snape. And then there's a lot of other interactions that they had with classmates or teachers, or just scenes in the whole Hogwarts scene. But again, as they progressed through the years, the less and less they did attend classes and stuff like that. And then at the end of the day, they still got, they've still passed with flying colors and stuff. So I'm not really sure what that says about the Hogwarts education system as a whole, but that's an entirely different topic for an entirely different video. But anyways, yes, today we are going to be looking at a few interesting details in each classroom that I could see or find interesting. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. The first classroom we're going to be diving into is the potions classroom. Now, outside of the classroom, you can already see it's kind of like, you obviously know it's located bit close to the Slytherin side on the dungeons almost. Like you can see the whole architecture of it is a bit of a kind of dingy place, I guess, if I can describe it like that. I don't want to give it a negative connotation, but it is a little bit dingy. It's a little bit more, underground as opposed to the other classrooms that are in these towers and everything. But along the walls, you can see actually it's got this whole description of elements. I think it's elements. Like some of them are elements, but some of them have like completely different names. So I'm not really sure if it's supposed to be like fantastical elements, like they have made up some fictional ones, or if this is like completely different like ingredients just. But it's like dotted along the walls. It's written like on it and everything. But I found it really cool to like look at it like that. Inside that classroom, obviously, when you do your first potions class, you're gonna have the whole thing about brewing Idris, I think, potion and Wiggenweld potions and stuff like that. And you continue with that. And obviously you can talk with the students and stuff, which is kind of nice because there is some dialogues you might miss if you don't really interact with people all the time. For example, I think this is the first class you meet Amit Takar. When you think about it, and Amit, you can actually speak to after brewing your Wiggenweld potion, and he'll have a compliment to say about you and talk about the astronomy class and stuff that you're going to be in together.
Impressed that you were able to answer Professor Sharp's question about the Wiggenweld potion.
Oh, you're the new student. I've heard much about you. Thank you. I'm Amit, by the way. Pleasure, truly. And I've never seen anyone brew such a flawless Wiggenweld potion on their first try. Well done.
I'm glad I was able to get it right the first time.
You must simply have a knack for potion making. Some students seem so confounded by potion recipes, it's as if they're written in gobbledygook. A fascinating language, by the way. Neither here nor there, really, but I am a self-taught speaker. Merlin's beard, good conversation is the enemy of free time. I must return my book, Gateway to the Far Stars, before my next class. Speaking of stars, we'll be in astronomy together. You'll love it. Professor Shah is firm, but quite clever. See you soon, no doubt.
You can also talk to a few of them again after you have brewed or helped brew Mr. Weasley's concoction with him, as well as getting a disapproval from Professor Sharp. But yeah, just some extra interactions you want there in case you missed it. Next, we move to herbology class, and well, yeah, I can tell some of you have been very, very thorough with your research here. But after you've all, sniffed Professor Garlick's farts and made very questionable mods about our Nexus mods, we actually have some cool little details to talk about in herbology class. Other than that, like being the most green and one of the most vibrant kind of classrooms out there with a very interactive thing. With all that, we had that fantastic scene with when we were pulling out the Mandrake for the first time and the whole glass roof cracked and she repaired it with Reparo. There's other things as well, like she has a small little conversation with Leonora at the beginning of the class where she just talks about her aunt and something.
Good morning, Professor Garlick.
How wonderful it is to see you again, Lenora dear.
Oh, here. You'll need these for today's class. A little treat for your auntie.
And you can actually get a letter in the class talking about, how the aunt is thankful for everything that Professor Garlic has sent her way, and how she has very green fingers and stuff like that. There's also a funny little interaction at the end of the class, I think, where Mr. Everett Clopton, one of the other students with you, apparently got bitten because he didn't wear his dragonhide leather gloves, and the only interaction you see him really do after class is him putting his finger near a venomous tentacula. And I don't know why he's doing this after the fact, but it seems like this man is just a masochist. Another cool little class is the Charms classroom. I think Professor Ronan is a very lively character. You can tell he enjoys his work and is having a lot of fun with it. And Charms classroom, I really couldn't see anything, that's kind of significant and everything, but they are these really cool kind of boards with a bunch of spell names on it, and I do recognize a few of them, but there are a few there that I don't know at all. Obviously you can just look it up and see it, but I'm just going to show you, there's these walls and boards of complete stacks and lists of spells that's written down, and yeah, it's just very cool to see them acknowledge all these spells that currently are existing in the wizard world, because I think one of these side characters even mentions to you can pretty much think of any sort of spell as long as it's Latin and do the correct incantation and stuff. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Onwards we move also to not a really also very detailed classroom. We just go to the divination classroom, which I haven't seen a lot of interaction there. I'm not sure if we're gonna get a class done here or something, but it's just cool to see that this is Natsai Ono's mother, of course, that she does mention that came here for work from Ouagadougou, as well as when she got transferred to Hogwarts. And yeah, it's obviously also just interesting because the whole class, I think, is the only class really that doesn't have a door. It has this iron ladder that comes down for you to climb through it. And then I'm imagining the lecturer has to do the exact same when she wants to go anywhere in the castle, unless she has some sort of flu powder hidden away. And lastly, I just wanted to also mention the cool little parallels and comparisons and similarities you can make across both Hogwarts Legacy and in Harry Potter, which obviously they are about a century apart in terms of their stories, but there's still a lot of cool comparisons. Like, for example, the Transfiguration, both in Harry Potter and Hogwarts Legacy, the Transfiguration Professor is also the deputy head mistress of the school. Comparison, obviously, Professor Weasley and Professor McGonagall. You've also got the Potions Professor, which is obviously Professor Sharp and Professor Snape, both who are kind of a more, how should I say, kind of a very more gruffy character, almost not antagonistic always, maybe to the Potters and stuff like that, but not too antagonistic, but also works for an external force. In our case, already Professor Sharp works directly with the Aurors, and technically Professor Snape was working undercover, but working for the Death Eaters and stuff like that. So that's cool little organizations. And obviously, yeah, we also have Professor Binns that still exists in both eras, still as a ghost, and still completely boring students to sleep in the history of magic class. So yeah, just a little bunch of cool little interactions I thought I'd mention quickly, but there are a bunch more classrooms to explore, and I'll get there as soon as I get the quests to start attending those classes and stuff. If I end up attending those classes and stuff, as a 5th year I might actually just drop out of school, because this is now when Dumbledore's army takes off. But anyway, thank you everyone again for watching these. These are very fun to make, as I've mentioned before a million times, and I hope you guys do enjoy the details I find and you find and everyone finds. It's so great to see such a community that's so willingly just sharing everything they've seen in the game. It's so cool because it just makes the game feel way more alive, and it brings to light so much more than us all just not knowing about the stuff. But anyway, guys, thank you again. Be sure to check out for a bunch more that's to come. I've got a few quick fire ones coming up, but yeah, I'll see you on the next Details Missed video.